Hello, YouTube. All right, I didn't live stream my cooking, but I just did finish cooking. I did film it for you. I was actually not going to do a live stream on eating it, but I actually accidentally hit the button and turned off the recording. So rather than have you guys not get to see me enjoy the meal and how it tasted, I'm going to go ahead and live stream it so you guys get, I guess, a preview of what happened. But basically, I cooked the last of the Thai red curry, the pork red curry that I had cooked up from previously from several months ago, and had frozen and stored at work. And I used the RV's generator to power the rice cooker and the heating element here to heat up the red curry. So we got the red curry here that we're getting ready to enjoy with the Pepsi, and I even have TV going on right now. But you'll notice the sound for the RV generator is off, and it's because we're running off the inverter at this point. What I did was I unplugged the generator. I unplugged the RV's generator and hooked up the battery bank. And so we're running the batteries so we don't have all that noise right now. I can basically sit and watch TV. I have the fan blowing at me right now. We are actually at the beach, just so you can see I'm not at some RV park or something. I am really out on the road and was able to generate my own electricity to cook this food and enjoy myself out here alongside the road. It is beach at Patrick Air Force Base, but even though it's actually a military base that we're at, you know, they opened this side up, the civilian side. So this is the food, and you can see the white rice was just freshly cooked on the stove there using the inverter. I'm actually on the rice cooker, and this is frozen from 2 months ago, the curry. But the curry has, I guess this is broccoli, also has some bamboo and some onion and a little bit of corn, and I think I even had some tomato in here. And the meat that we have here is actually pork. So this was something that I had whipped up in the RV, if you recall, 2 months ago when I was about to lose power, and I ended up freezing it and saving it at work. So I'm probably going to end up, now that I have the ability to cook again in the RV, I'll probably make some more of this for future, you know, so that I can go ahead and enjoy this food. Let me try to switch here to front face view so you guys can watch me eat. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to turn the TV off. No need to waste electricity here if you're not even watching it. So let me try to get this mounted here. Temporary hookup here. Let me try to figure this out here. You know, from Mukbang, you guys like to actually watch somebody eating, right? Can you see that? Can you see me? You'll see the food? I don't know if you can see me sitting here eating. No, you can't see anything. You won't be able to see me eat. Wait, what if I bring it down? Is that better? Maybe I'll just do this and then you can't see my head. You can't see me eat. Alright, so we're going to try to eat like this. You won't be able to see me scoop up the food, but we haven't done this in a while. Alright, so this is the food, and here we go. Oh my God. It's like a taste of heaven. I'm thinking that either I've hit my data, my bandwidth max, and it's throttling back on me, or this particular location where I am doesn't have good Wi-Fi. So I don't know how the quality is, but it looked like it was dropping out. If it drops out again, I'm probably going to go ahead and end the broadcast. But it makes sense that the location may not have that good a broadcast because I'm actually across from the military base, which probably doesn't have a cell tower there. That would be a commercial civilian thing. And we're actually out like by the beach. So I don't know if it's going to cut out again, but we're going to try again. It did cut out earlier. We'll try this one more time. Alright, so I got the camera mounted and we're going to try again. So here then is the meal. It is freshly cooked in the RV. Bamboo with rice. Tastes a lot like you're eating wood. Because it turns out the bamboo is wood. Look at that. Doesn't that look so good? Oh my goodness. Look at the rice and the pork. And I got a piece of carrot and tomato and a piece of corn. It's almost like having a Thai restaurant right on the beach. Just right outside the door here is the beach. There's sea grape plants here blocking the sand dunes, blocking the wind from hitting me. But I don't know if you can hear the ocean in the background. I can hear it here in the RV. But yeah, I can understand now why people who don't have to work actually can enjoy a life of traveling in an RV. I mean, if you were just traveling, imagine stopping by a place like this to eat lunch every day. You know, you can get a different location that you think is interesting and pull over, cook up your food, eat, and then go into a town or a city somewhere and start exploring. I think the hardest part that would need to be worked out is actually parking the RV and getting out and exploring, because you'd have to have the ability to tow a smaller car or something, a smaller car or scooter or something that you could take around town, because otherwise you are somewhat limited in what you can do. Because the RV is kind of huge. You get the benefit of feeling like that you have a house or a hotel that you're taking with you, and you can cook your food, you can do everything you would do in a house. But the trade-off right now is that I don't have a car with me. The way I have my generator on the back right now, I would not be able to hook up a car and tow it. So if I was going to try to tow a car, I'd have to figure out some other way of mounting the generator, possibly up at the front of the vehicle. But where it is right now is actually very ideal. I have the generator mounted on a hitch thingy, a little platform, and I'm able to hook up the RV's wiring, you know, the power cable right into it. It's almost like being an RV park and just plug in. So it's ideal that it's right there. So I don't really know if I really want to tow a car in this RV. It's already 29 feet. Putting a car on it would be adding like another 12 feet. There's a Class A RV in front of me. And they don't have any vehicle that I can see. So they opted to just drive around in the RV. My concern is, you know, when you have a big rig like an RV, you are somewhat limited on where you can go. The RV will not fit on all the roads. I know when I was traveling with my wife on our honeymoon and we went to Arches and stuff, people were there in RVs, but there were parts that were small, tiny little roads. And I would not want to drive the RV up that tiny little road. I guess an alternative is to have a bicycle. You know, take bicycles so that you can actually ride around when you get to town and you want to go somewhere. You could ride your bicycle. Maybe even turn those bicycles into electric bikes. If I have to carry bicycles, I was thinking of several ways to do it. One would be to mount a hitch or something up front and then put a bike rack up front and mount the bicycles in front of the RV, which I've seen people do. The other option, which I'm actually looking at, is to get a piece of wood and run it across the back of my entire RV and then bolt on or screw on some bike racks, hooks, you know, to hold up bicycles. That's what I'm contemplating doing. Making my own custom bike hauler. So I can carry, excuse me here. I want to try to be able to carry at least 2 bicycles on the back of the RV. If I can carry 2 bicycles and hook them up on my custom rack, then I can still continue to carry the generator back there. And the RV would not only be off-grid capable, it would also have little side transportation that I could use to ride into town. I think I've seen people hook up scooters, little mopeds or something, onto their RV. So that's a potential thing to do, maybe. But I would think that the scooter would be kind of heavy. At least quite a bit heavier than a bicycle. This food is so good. I got a little surprise for you guys. You see this? Can you read it? It says, perfect small veneers. Yeah. I ended up ordering these perfect smile veneers on eBay before my teeth got really, really... I ordered them on eBay for, I think it was like 20 cents or $2 or something ridiculous. So we're going to try these out. Not right now, but in a future episode. As soon as I get a chance. We're going to try out the perfect smile veneers and see if they fix my teeth issue. So stay tuned for that. That should be pretty exciting. Honestly, I was trying to get into my wife's dental plan at work, but she missed the enrollment. So I don't know if they can let her add me, but then I've also been looking at potentially a third-party plan. You know, sometimes dentist's office have a plan you can buy for dental work, which gives you like a reduced cost. You pay them every year. It's like an annual plan of like $400. But then a procedure that could cost you $2,000 or $3,000, you might only have to pay $400 for. So I'm contemplating doing that to try to get this fixed, because this is getting worse. See, look, the one tooth there is like all the way out. So I'm probably gonna have that pulled and then put a bridge or something there. I don't know how much that's gonna cost, but I'm gonna have to start saving money for that. And seeing if there's a dental plan or something I can get in that would allow me to do that. Sadly, even though I'm working right now, it is still part-time and I don't qualify for any of the medical benefits, which kind of sucks. But the fact that I have semi-stable hours You know, my hours are pretty consistent each week. That tells me how much money I will pretty much get each week. So I can start to make plans. Like, I can allocate a certain amount of money that'll go towards my teeth. And then try to get onto the dental plan. You know, I'm going to look for an independent dental plan. I had one in South Florida that I used. I only used it once though, but I'm going to see if there's any other dentists that offer that dental plan. And then try to hook up with a dentist who is part of the plan and see how much it would cost for them to try to take that tooth out, build a bridge. I don't think bridges are really that good, so it's going to be more for aesthetics, you know, just for looks. I don't even know if do any of you have a bridge? Can you eat with the bridge on? You know, would you be able to eat like normal, or do you have to take it out? I used to have such nice teeth. As soon as one tooth goes, your whole mouth starts shifting. All these other teeth, they want to do their own thing. And the glue worked for a while, but because of having to glue it in and force it in to kind of hold it in place with friction, you know, it was forcing the teeth apart and moving it around to the point where it's now pointing up. So that sucks. The thing is, dental work, you know, having good looking teeth and stuff, it's mostly aesthetics. You know, it's having dentures put in, you know, having a bridge or something won't really help me as far as eating or anything. As a matter of fact, it might make it harder to eat. But aesthetically, it makes you look better. And looking better, in a lot of ways, is important because it can help you get a better job. I know it's sad, but people judge you by how you look. And if you have like a bad tooth, you know, they have I guess a preconceived notion of you just because of the bad teeth. I know that when I was working as a mail carrier, it was urgent that I fix my teeth. I was willing to spend more than almost $3,000 to try to fix one tooth. $3,000. That's more than the price of what it cost to buy this RV and renovate it. You know, other than the mechanicals. This whole RV, the price of the RV was $1,200, and we've had about $800 in renovations. I think that included the battery packs. Although that doesn't include, well, maybe it does include the alternator. Not alternator, the inverter. I think we've had more like $1,000 in renovations. When you include stuff like the battery packs, the power inverter, and the generator. That was like $1,000 worth of add-ons. In addition to the ceiling and all the other stuff. The paint I still have here. Paint's like $20, $25. And when I get it painted, it's going to look a lot better. The RV's going to look a little bit more complete. I just still need to put up a few more panels. And screw things into place so they don't jiggle anymore. There's a lot of panels that could be replaced completely. But I don't think I'm going to do too much. As Timothy said when I first got this RV, the real way to fix this would have been to tear everything down. Like take all the cabinets off, all the ceiling. You basically would be rebuilding. The only thing you'd be saving is the frame. You would be rebuilding everything. And that's the only real way to make sure that the system is, like, you know, in good shape. But because of budget and timing, we didn't do that with this RV. I still think it turned out okay, considering that we basically just patched stuff right on top of the broken old stuff. And I've tried to stabilize things. I know it's not the best build, not the best way to do an RV, but it's good enough, right? And if you're curious and you haven't seen it, go look at the initial video of when I first picked up the RV. And maybe in about a month, really loud, really well. I'm able to drive over bridges with it, you know. So I got the turn signal working, even though I think might need to get a new relay because it's blinking a little too fast. I've got the off-grid power systems working. You know, it can run both generator and inverter. And the next thing we'll be adding is solar, but limited solar. I don't want to spend too much money on this. But I wanted to make sure that this RV would be off-grid capable. And for me, it's kind of an experiment, you know. It's like I'm able to test the tiny house concept on here that I would build for a tiny house using this RV and not have to deal with city building codes and everything else. Because I can do all this stuff since it's an RV, it's a trailer. I think that might be the secret. If you're wanting to build a tiny house, it may be best to build it as a tiny house on wheels. Then you don't have to deal with all the city ordinances and stuff about housing. I have cleaned my whole plate. A lot of people want a tiny house movement, and they actually will shell out $50, $100, maybe even $200,000 on a tiny house. I can't imagine spending more than $5,000 or $10,000 on a house if it's going to be a tiny house. This RV, you know, was $1,200. If you had $10,000, you could have bought an RV that was in pretty decent shape, maybe ready to roll, and you didn't have to do all the renos like I did on here. But if you're like broke like me, after going through what I've done with this RV, even though at times it was pretty discouraging, especially when I had to evacuate because of the hurricane, but then the viewers came in and just helped me out immensely and got me to the point where we're over here now and things are actually stabilized. Based on what I heard stuff and learning about the systems, it really wasn't too complicated. It wasn't as overwhelming as I thought it would be. And building your own systems to patch into it wasn't too bad. It's actually easier to build your own system, your own electrical system, and do your own wiring and stuff, than dealing with what was already there with the RV. But I was able to patch into the RV system fairly well. Knowing what I know now, if I wanted a tiny house, you know, and I couldn't afford land, or I couldn't afford, you know, the permits and all the other stuff that get involved with trying to build a tiny house, I would probably buy an RV, like maybe a piece of junk RV that someone's giving away for free, or one that I could buy for under $1,000. It, you know, if it ran okay, that's even better. Really, if you get one that's running, you're in a very good position. But once you have the RV, see, here's the thing. RV house, you know, it's got thin little plastic and little stuff that break and dry rot in the sun. You know, the sun bleaches it and it crackles and water comes in. But as soon as water leaks into an RV, it starts to fall apart. And when it starts to fall apart, people get rid of it really fast. It's not with anything. Once you have an RV with a water leak, it's probably going to stay there. Unless you replace that whole section. You know, like rebuild the whole roof or whatever. And then it gets expensive. So most people, when they get, but most people, what I found is they don't work on stuff. They put a tarp on it, and they say they're going to get back to it, but then they never get back to it. Or when they start to get back to it, they say, man, this was, when they open up what was the leak, because by the time you actually notice the problem, it may be exponentially larger. And what happens is people get rid of those RVs. And if you're like me, not afraid to just build, mind you, I'm not a carpenter, I'm not an electrician, I'm nothing. You know, I'm a computer programmer and a photographer. That's what I am. I mostly program computer games and I do photography. I'm a pretty decent photographer. But I'm not afraid to try to build something. So if you have that attitude and you are able to buy a cheap RV, working on as a side project to build a tiny house out of it. And if you have a really limited budget and keep yourself with that budget, you could do it. Like I know that I could build a hut completely from scratch for under $2,000. The size of the one that I had for Hut 2.0, which is a little bit smaller than this RV. About the same size as this RV, actually. Maybe a little bit smaller. It was like the RV split in half but going the other way. So it was shorter but wider. So I did my hut for I think about $800 or so. So the roof was bad and that kind of fell apart because of that. But I didn't want to spend too much money because it was kind of an experiment, you know, to see what it would cost and if I could do it by myself and how long it would take and what would be involved in it. Well, knowing all that, I know that if I got an RV and I had a budget of $2,000 after buying the RV, I could build a nice house on it. It would only cost me about $2,000. Now, is it going to have all the latest, greatest stuff? No, but it'll be nice. It'll be at least as nice as my hut was. It'll, you know, if I had $2,000, that's more money than I sunk into building this RV. So I could do a lot better job. But we did save some money on this RV build because we kept the old stuff, you know. We kept the walls and stuff. I just put panels on it, cheap panels. Like if I was trying to build a tiny house really cheap, and I didn't have a lot of money, I might even consider building an RV out of pallets. Yeah. Can you imagine that? A pallet RV. And you're thinking, why would you do that? You do free, and pallets are wood, and you could use the wood for framing. Then you can get like insulation and other stuff, and then a panel to close it off so it looks nice on the inside. And on the outside, you might spend money on siding. You know, you might get some. So the thing is, if you know how to build a house and stuff, you could probably do a really good job. But if you know how to build a house, you probably want to build it right, which means a huge $50,000 because you're trying to build a house on wheels. Whereas somebody like me that doesn't really know or care, all I want is 4 walls that don't leak and maybe a little bit of insulation so I can keep cool or stay warm, you know. So I may not build according to code per housing code, you know. I'm just putting a wall that hopefully doesn't fall down, trying to make it stable and make it strong and stuff like that. So you're given a little bit more freedom when you're not an expert. You know, I think that's the key. Although it becomes a little bit dangerous because you kind of doing stuff you don't know. But I tell you this, some people who do know what they're doing, they still run into problems, you know. Let's say you're the perfect builder. You know, you have experience building houses, building tiny houses and stuff. And so you buy this beat up RV or whatever, and you spend $50,000 fixing it, so it's perfect. And you made sure that it was in code and everything was perfect. But then you take it out for a drive and you get hit by a car. See, that happens. So you can't really predict what's going to happen in the future. It's like someone will say, hey, the guy who knows how to build the house will build a better RV. Yeah, he might, but it doesn't prevent him from having an accident. You know, you don't know what is in the guy who knew how to build a house, building an RV might do a good job, but it doesn't mean that his RV will actually be usable, if you know what I'm saying. He could get it done, and then some crazy stuff could happen to it. Just like some crazy stuff could happen to this RV. So, you don't really know the future. All you can do really is just keep moving forward and hoping for the best. Anyhow, I am going to go ahead and sign off now, because I think I'm going to go ahead and start to pack up and figure out what I'm going to do for tonight. I want to thank you all for joining me. I know this was not supposed to be a mukbang, and it was kind of, but mostly me blabbering. Because I'm just doing some thinking in my head right now, what all needs to happen and what I'm going to do. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you're all having a good day wherever you are and staying safe. I don't know how the quality of the stream is. I know it kept cutting out, so I know that this area has bad connection or my data is being throttled. So until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Please stay safe. Bye-bye now.